Hey, hi everyone. This is going to be part 2 of the specialization trees, the new feature I have added to the Star Wars and Genesys rule sets for Fantasy Grounds. And in part 1, if you haven't if you haven't seen the first video, I'm gonna put a link in the description so you can do that. But for the previous release, I I managed to finish part of the specialization. You were able to create the specialization trees like these, but you couldn't yet put those into your characters. Now, with the next release, with this part of the release, we can finally add specializations to your character. Okay, first, I would like to say that you still pretty much can drag and drop talents and add talents to your character directly, like this. You can still do that. And I expect most people playing Genesys will still do it because in Genesys, specialization trees, they are an optional rule included in the expanded player's guide. It's not part of the main core rulebook. So most people won't use this, but you still can. So I'm going to show from the point of view of the Star Wars rule set, but everything I'm doing here in the Star Wars rule set also applies to Genesis. Just bear in mind that if you are downloading the libraries that Severic's been sharing, you won't have any specializations. You have to create yourselves for Genesis. Now for Star Wars, he's been updating the libraries to include specializations. So you won't need to start from scratch. Now, let me give you guys an example. So imagine that before the release of this update, you would add manually like this. Now you can still do that, and in the case of ranked talents, there's an improvement that I did on the code. So for example, now let's say I drag this talent to my character. You see, this is a ranked talent. I will have like rank 1, and if I drag and drop the same talent on my character, it will say, hey, you have updated your talent. Okay, so now if I open my talent, it's automatically updated to rank 2. Another way to, and if you try to add a ranked talent, you will see you can't add to the number. Even if you unlock here, you can't add it. So that's because each rank in your talent will have an entry in this list. The list only shows up if you unlock the record. And you can still manually increase and decrease the ranks by clicking here. And you see you can manually add ranks. So it's gonna, in the list, you're gonna see this text saying this is a manual entry, meaning this rank did not come from a talent tree, specialization tree. But so this is so the two things can coexist. So you can still add talents manually, but the preferable way would be now to use specialization tree. So let's do that. So now I'm gonna start by deleting everything. Let me just start from scratch. You don't have to do that, your character. You might want to, but in this case, let me show an example. So in this character here is a bounty hunter. So I'm gonna go to here to the database. I'm gonna filter by bounty hunter. You see, bounty hunter. If you have downloaded libraries, you will already have these. Otherwise, you have to create your own. But let me drag a specialization to this character. I'm gonna do the assassin specializations. Now, close this. And if you see, I already have the specialization right here. Let me just put this right here. And if I open, I can see the whole specialization tree. Now remember, guys, as I said in the previous video, You won't have any descriptions for rules, anything here. Like I have, if I open these talents, I can see the summary, which is the text that's going here. You won't have that, but I have entered these looking at my books. So you will have to do the same. I showed how to do that in the previous video, but I'll explain more in future guides as well. But in this case, just remember that when you do this for the first time, you only see the talents. You won't see any text, but that's fine. That's okay. Now, how does it work? If you look at this spec tree here, everything is like faded out, meaning that I don't have any of these talents. But if you click on the description, you can always see the full record for this talent. But here in this little box at the top right corner, if I click this, my character will activate this talent, and you will immediately see that now I have the talent in my talents list. So I can close this as uh, uh, and still see my talent list. And if I reopen, it's going to show me my talents. So now I can. It's very easy. You just have to activate any of the talents in the tree, and you will see it will have a bolder color, and also this little box will be filled to show that this talent is in your character. Now, the nice thing is, like say, for example, if I get, let's go all the way down. If I get Stalker here, you see I have Stalker rank 1. And in this tree node, there's also another rank for Stalker. And if I click here, I will have Stalker 2. Now, if you open the record, remember when I showed you guys loading, when you manually added ranks, if you unlock this, you will be able to see here that we have 2 ranks of these this specialization, and they and here I can see that they come from the assassin specialization tree. I could still add a manual rank like this, so it's very flexible. If you want, you can still manually add more ranks, uh, even though you're not doing it from the tree. And if you do something like this, if you go back to the tree and you unmark, you still see I still have rank 1, because if I open this, I have a manual entry like this. Another interesting thing is, so for example, if I add here, you see now I have 1 manual entry, 1 from the assassin tree, so I have rank 2, and that's the same. And also it's very flexible because I can simply go to my talents list and completely remove this talent. And if I go back to the talent tree, you're going to see that I no longer have Stalker selected. So the rule set is smart enough to know where the talent came from. Okay. Now, so you can still use one way or the other, it doesn't matter. I think to avoid confusion, I would suggest using the spec trees, but it's fine. You can always mix and match and do whatever you want. So I think this shows everything. It's the same thing for NPCs. So if you have an NPC character, if you go to the abilities like this, you see that existing talents, they're gonna show the menu ranks. And I could also add, let's say, a specialization tree here, and as soon as I have this, I can just click and select all items, and they are automatically populated here. Okay. For now, this is the feature that I have added. With again, just to emphasize some questions that I have seen in the forums is we don't have yet any automations. Okay, so this is still an ongoing process. In the future, I do intend to have some form of automation. But for now, this is the feature for spec trees. Now that I have done another thing I would like to say is now that also have done these spec trees, I am going to work on a similar feature for the force powers. Because as we see in Force and Destiny, for example, we have several different force powers and they have trees as well. It's a little bit more complicated to make, but I think I can pull it off. I think the hardest part was this one. But basically, this is it, guys. Again, if you have any questions, suggestions, anything, you can contact me from the forums. I will put the link in the description. And again, thank you very much, and I'll see you guys later.